at you straight out of Brooklyn, live on YouTube Live, Scope Live. How you doing tonight? Frankie Russo coming at you straight out of Brooklyn. Let me just get some social media going. What's up, Justin? Straight out of Brooklyn. I'm waiting for the Facebook to come down. I got YouTube Live going, and I'm getting ready now to pop on Scope. So I just did Facebook, and let me do one more. We'll get started tonight. We got a lot to talk about. I've been doing a lot of thinking about the vectors. We're going to do the whiteboard tomorrow. I'm starting with the map tonight. I want to do a walkthrough on the I want to do a walkthrough. All right. Okay. So we're good. How you all doing tonight? Frankie Russo. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers, the beautiful mothers of the world. Thank you, Henry, for the share. God bless you. We're getting ready to pop. No problem, 49. Thank you for the visit. Thank you, Henry, for the retweet. I'm going to get the map, and I want to get into the vectors. And then we'll use the small board. Tomorrow we're going to go with the big whiteboard with the big vectors to show you, because some things have been going through my head. Thank you, Justin, for the shares. So I'm going to get the big board now, and we're going to look at these vectors, because things started to, like, the weekend I was looking over some different articles and things. Thank you, Gonzo, for the retweets. What up, Night Raider? What's popping? I'm gonna get the map now, so we'll go to the map quickly. We'll get the vectors. I got the stealthy vectors. I got 4 stealthy vectors, right? And I also got. I didn't print out the articles, but I have a few articles. They're on my hashtag Russo show. You can look at the latest. It's vector time, son. It sure is. Vectors don't lie. The vectors don't lie. We're doing great there, Gonzo. God bless you. Thank you for the thank you for the retweets, Gonzo. We're doing all right. You know, we're hanging in with this thing. You know, I was outside before I get into everything. You know, I was outside. I jumped rope today. I feel good. I said, damn. I said, Lord have mercy. You know, if I could just go to a gym, do my training, and then go to a library, I'm okay. I could, but this is like Sharia law. You know, it's no joke. This is like Sharia law. So I got my laptop going. I just want to see. I want to go. Here's where I want to go. Right. I want to go to my because I downloaded some articles on my show, on my hashtag Russo show. So if you want to see wherever I'm blogging, just go to hashtag Russo show. My latest blogs are there. So I got a few articles here that I want to. I didn't print them out today, but I'm going to read from. We'll see how it goes today. Because, by the way, it reminded me, hashtag Obamagate. almost hit a million on the trend wire on Twitter. Almost hit a million. Hashtag Obamagate. Hashtag Obamagate. Absolutely. I almost hit a million. Well, I meant well, at one time I had a couple of million. I was running absolutely Bomber for Gitmo. I was running a couple of million impressions at one time. When I was at ABC, I was in the millions with impressions. My social media was doing all right. I think it was weekly or annually, something like that. But I was popping. We're gonna get popping again. We're gonna get popping again. Okay, so let me get the geopolitical map, and once I get the geopolitical map, I want to go through the vectors because I want to Charlie Kirk, Barack Obama's corruption and illegal acts will soon be uncovered. Oh my goodness. I tell you, man, I've been doing this. You see, I'm ahead. Honestly, Russo's ahead of the news cycle, if you want to be honest. I've been doing this, talking about the Obama Clinton crime family. Go to my vectors on my website. You'll see what I blogged. I mean, I've been blogging since I was at ABC, and when I blogged when I've been up here in Brooklyn, I'm ahead of it. All this stuff, you got all these cats. Kirk's a great guy. He's doing the Turning Point with none other than Candace Owens. She's unbelievable. That lady is I guess it's her and him. That Candace Owens is an incredible woman. She's an incredible. What she's done with the Blexit is incredible. Candace Owens. Absolutely, we're gonna get it. But understand something. Russo's been doing this well before all this other stuff. Because I drill down and I go into the nucleus, and it's like absolutely independent. They could 4 more years. We want 3 terms of Trump. We got to keep these Democrats. These Democrats are so bad. They are just so bad. It's beyond belief how bad they are. Really bad. They were talking about. I was watching Mark Levin. Oh my God, Levin is a great broadcaster. Levin is great. I just disagreed with when I was at ABC. I just disagreed with Levin on with Ted Cruz. I just disagreed with that one. That was my disagreement with him. But everything. I mean, he's one of the profound legal scholars in the country, right? Him and Andrew McCarthy are my favorite legal scholars. Absolutely. And he had a great show today. He had Kevin McCarthy. Absolute traitors. Absolutely. So, Kevin McCarthy, we got to take back the House, man. We got to get, I'm hoping for a Trump landslide, but it's going to take work. These Democrats will do anything. This is like by any means necessary in their world, right? There are stealth jihad radical Islamists. CARE, the Council of American Islamic Relations, runs the Democratic National Committee. The chair is a stealthy Tom Perez, and the number 2 guy is Keith Ellison. He swears in under the Quran, right? We got Dearborn Representative Kalish, Congresswoman Tlaib, and Congresswoman Omar, right? And the problem is, too, not only are they pushing for the mail-in ballots, which concerns me, they've already done one in Ohio. What also concerns me is these governors. Absolutely clean sweep. These governors are a concern to me because the Democratic governors are a joke. And I got a 2-headed horse over here. I got two Fredos, and I got a Sandinista. I got the Cuomo brothers, 2 big rats, and I got a Sandinista. So, guy thinks he's Fidel Castro. He sits in the freaking absolutely. He thinks he's Fidel Castro. De Blasio. Everything. They should at least open up the construction trade. This is ridiculous. Look. This is like President Trump, and I'm not going to talk about this anymore, but I'm sick of because I was listening to Fox News. Fox News is a great arguably the best broadcasting one of the greatest broadcasting companies on the planet is Fox News, right? I don't agree with all their broadcasters. I got to be real with you, right? Some of them are really good. Some of them are, right? I'll tell you, I had this chick on there. I forgot her name I think she's a Democrat, saying you got to follow the scientists. There they go again, right? You got to follow the scientists. Saying that President Trump doesn't follow science. Do you know they don't even know what they're talking about, right? They don't know what they're talking about. President Trump takes in, like I said in my last show, all of the variables. A, Dr. Fauci's data. B, Dr. Barex's data. C, Dr. Redfield's data. D, Admiral Garon's data, right? Then he's got Michael Pence, Vice President Pence. Then he's got others that, like, from the economic side and other areas on this Corona task force. Then President Trump factors in all the data, and then he has his own intuition, his own feeling on things, and then he arrives to his conclusions. So his decision-making process, he takes in each variable because his goal is victory. How do we win? Right? This thing's been horrific. The horrific debt, horrific, right? And then we have the economy. So between that, this is like a double hit, right? So President Trump's very much aware of the public health problem we have, but we also have an economic problem that can morph into a Great Depression, and then we got bread lines, and then we got civil unrest, and then we got really, really big problems. Absolutely, China's absolutely an issue. Absolutely, Justin. But the point is, with this whole thing, right? So they say drill down into the science. President Trump doesn't follow the science. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know how to understand what data is. They don't know how to interpret data, let alone infer from data. They don't know how to interpret data, let alone infer from data. Scientists are scientists, amazing men and women, amazing. I would love to. I want to be a professional scientist. I'm an amateur scientist right now. I would love to be a professional scientist. These people are amazing. The medical doctors, amazing. Men and women of those professions are amazing people, right? So the broadcasters don't know how to understand and interpret. They wouldn't know what to understand the data and how to interpret the data. Follow the scientists. Scientists are just providing more information. So for example, Dr. Fauci, Dr. Barex, Dr. Redfield, and the Admiral Garon. He's the test guy, right? They're giving President Trump information. They're giving President Trump predictive analysis. They don't know themselves. They study the human physiology, the human body for decades. Dr. Fauci's been doing this since the 80s. He's been director of the NIH for infectious disease. There's things they know, and there's things they just don't know. That's the way of nature, right? That's nature. So they have these probability distributions to try to make predictions in all likelihood of probability. If the data is in the middle of the curve, if the data is on the tails of the data, wherever the data is, there's a probability of all likelihood of probability where this whole thing is. So they don't know. With the grace of God, they get a vaccine, and that means we'll know more than we knew, 5, 6 months ago, 6, 7 months, whatever it was, right? But they don't know. So you got Cuomo saying he knows, and de Blasio saying they know, and they don't even have medical degrees. Well, at least I think Cuomo said he just graduated from Weill Cornell Medical School. But when it comes to looking at the data, they don't understand how to look at the data. They don't understand and interpret the data, let alone infer, make statistical inferences. Make statistical inferences from the. They don't understand it. Very true. So, for example, when a broadcaster says President Trump's got to follow the science and listen to the scientists, they think we're a bunch of morons because they don't even know what they're talking about, right? President Trump does. He's the president of the United States. Scientists are doing experiments for the NIH, for the country, to get the leaders of the country, like the president of the United States, more information so we can make a more informed decision on what to do. The buck stops with Trump. It doesn't stop with Fauci. It doesn't stop with Barrett. They are esteemed, distinguished scientists and doctors, medical doctors. Some of these doctors got MDs and PhDs. They're so good, right? But that's just the way the game goes. President Trump is he has to make the final decision. So for these broadcasters to come up and knock Trump because they're saying he's not following the scientists, first of all, that's not accurate. And second of all, they don't know what they're talking about. Because data is part of the variable. It's part of the variables of the overall equation to victory over this Wuhan virus. It's like, I'll give you a football analogy. It's like Tom Brady. What up, Bobby? It's like Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady had one of the worst NFL combines for a quarterback in the history of the NFL combines. Yet, he's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to live. You could say he's the greatest quarterback ever to live. So how is it that the NFL combine has got all this data, right? So if we will listen to the broadcasters, we look at the NFL combine with all this data, the high jump, the throw, the accuracy on the throw, the 225 bench. Okay, Ryder, God bless. The 225 bench. How many does he do? What's his high jump? What's his 40-yard dash? And you can't hear. Really? Really? That's the first time. This thing's up. This thing's up, bro. Can anybody else not hear? Sounds good. Thank you, my brother. So Tom Brady, that's data from the combine. So the scouts come. So the scouts of the football teams are there. They're in the predictive business. They get all the data and they go, okay, Brady runs this speed for the 40. He throws this far. His accuracy on his pass is this way, etc. Right? His high jump is this. He had the worst numbers, one of the worst numbers in the NFL combine for any quarterback in history. So if you were going just by those numbers, you wouldn't even come close to predicting how good he was or is, right? That's the whole point, right? The scouts, the combine gets the data, and then coaches like Belichick make the final decisions on who's he going to draft. Brady didn't even make his. He wasn't the number one guy in Michigan. So, right? So here's go. You listen to these broadcasters, President Trump. So you got to follow the science. Like they know it. They probably can't even spell the word science. It's ridiculous. The science, the data, is part of the is a variable, like the Fauci data, like the Dr. Barrett's data, like Dr. Redfield's data, like Admiral Garal's data, right? The test guy. All this data is part of the equation that President Trump is putting together to equal victory. So he has all this information. He's coming in. He's digesting it. He does his due diligence, though he doesn't get the credit. He's very deliberate, and when he makes his decisions, a lot of times he talks out loud. He talks things through, and the mainstream media runs with it, and they end up losing anyway because they don't get it right. What up, Fish? There you go, my brother. That's what I'm talking about, my G. What up, Fish? Absolutely, Fish. We need the Fish is saying we got to get the whole thing. Shout out to Cold Warrior. Thank you, Teresa, for the retweets. But that's the whole point. So when you hear these broadcasters say, and then the way they interpret studies and surveys and polls is ridiculous. So if you get a random sample of 1,000 people, and in that 1,000 people, 55% of the people say in America say, right? They take a random sample of 1,000 people. 55% of the random sample says the sky's red. So when they interview people on the broadcasters, they'll go, 55% of Americans says the sky is red. Wrong. In order to say that, you need a lot of repetition. You need to repeat those experiments over and over and over again. And not even then you could really say it. You could say the trend is the Americans are trending toward. You can't say 55% of Americans. That's what they do, the broadcasters. That's how they influence public opinion, because we can't think on our own. They make a survey or they do a poll, and that's the end all. That's the end all. Obviously, the mythology was well off. Just go to 2016 when Trump really sucked it to him. But that's the whole point. When you look at this thing, I'm amazed. These broadcasters make so much money, right? The money is unbelievable. Some of these cats at Fox, like a Juan Williams at Donna Brazil, they're pulling in some serious bank. Serious. And they can't even interpret a poll. They look at a poll and they read a poll and they say, well, 55% of all Americans are saying that. That's not true. That's very dishonest. Maybe, Gonzo, we're thinking about it. I got a lot of things in the hopper. I'm trying to get some movement. We were almost back on the radio. I want to go back on the radio live, and then obviously television. But I want to go back at radio live. I miss live radio, man. There's nothing like it. But this is crazy. So, right, and another thing. These governors, they say come on, man. Dr. Barek said it was 1 in 7. Obamagate, better believe it, Marianne. 1 in 7 chance of you getting infected by the Wuhan virus. You know what 1 in 7 means? You got a 14% chance of getting infected with the virus. You know what that means? That means 86% of the chance you don't get infected with the virus. That means you win. With the grace of God Almighty, I hope November 3rd, 2020, our great president has an 86% chance of getting reelected. I will take that any day of the week. So I got my mask. I do the social distancing, but we got to start to open up over here in New York. We're going crazy. He's got to open up the construction companies. He's talking about June. Absolutely, my brother. He's talking over here. He's talking June. June 7th. Hey, I'm not saying got to open up. I'm not saying because we're going like Trump's going like this. Either that or that. I mean, either way, we're looking at a freaking Great Depression, breadlines. He's got to open up the economy. It's amazing how the stock market has maintained its value. I am so, thank you, Jesus. I'm so happy about that. It's amazing. Stock market is trading at 24, 23, 24. I mean, these governors, these Democratic governors, and these mayors, they're the worst, man. And they're using their mismanagement and their misappropriations in their local governments to try to use the virus to take care of their issues that they've created. It's crazy, but that's how we have to. It's unfortunate, but just so to understand, right? We got to conceivably, we got an 86% chance of not getting infected with the virus. So why doesn't he open up the economy over here in New York? All the snowflakes it's sick, right? Why doesn't he open up the economy in New York? Now, I'm not saying you flip the switch, you just turn the whole thing on at once, but at the very least, he should open up the construction work. These people work outside, they wear their mask and they'll work. This is ridiculous. They don't know what they're doing. Cuomo didn't know what he's doing. I heard he was, I don't know, the Post wrote this, so I don't know how true it is. He did it. Cuomo did confess that he did send the COVID victims to the COVID patients. He sent them to the nursing homes. The most egregious act any governor could do is send the COVID patients. You're probably right, Grits, to send the COVID patients to the nursing homes. The most vulnerable people with this virus, Nipple K, the most vulnerable people with this virus are the elderly, 80 and above. He's got a beautiful mother, Matilda. What's his problem? From that to the ventilators, complaining about Trump with the ventilators, he ended up having to give ventilators away. You say, thank you, Donald Trump. Thank you, President Trump. He's a joke. And de Blasio, oh my God, this guy is an accident waiting to happen, de Blasio. Oh my God. So out of touch. And these people are a joke. We should be opening up over here. Rats, like right? Rats. Look at Pelosi. Do you know what? On the Mark Levin show, I was talking about it. I forgot. I went off to another thing. I do that sometimes. He had Kevin McCarthy on there talking about Pelosi. How Pelosi doesn't even include, Pelosi has her staff, they write the legislation, right? The legislation, they write it. They write the legislation. You're probably right, 2020, right? So they, Buchanan, Buccaneers, you're probably right. So are you a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan? You got Brady, man. That's pretty good. So Pelosi's staff writes the legislation. Then she brings it to her committees. They approve it like they do with Obamacare, right? Same stuff. Don't read it, vote on it. We'll figure it out later. She does not include at all. She doesn't include at all any of the Republicans, according to Kevin McCarthy. This is like, we got to get rid of these House Democrats. We got to take back the House. I'm telling you. We got to take back this House, man. We got to take back this House. We have to. We have to. So I'm going to go to this thing now. Well, I hope it's the beginning, Grid. I hope it's the beginning. When you think about it, right? And nobody talks about it. And it was interesting. That's right. Levin mentioned that as well. Levin was great today. Oh, my God. He mentioned that as well, right? Because we know, according to McCabe and his deposition, the Pfizer warrants were based on that fake Trump dossier, right? So Comey presented the fake Trump dossier, got the Pfizer warrant, and used the Pfizer warrant under the guise of that they were surveilling foreign enemy actors to America, but really they used that to unmask the Americans, like Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. That is the most, so that's taking our own intelligence apparatus and pointing it and using it against Americans. That is, and so you sit there and you talk to all these Democrats, all these lefties, and they'll never bring that up. They don't think there's anything wrong with it. Because that's what I'm saying. By any means necessary. By any means necessary for these Democrats. They don't care if they got Comey, Clapper, Panetta, Obama. They don't care where Obama was born. I don't know where the hell he was born. I don't believe Hawaii. Who the hell is Michelle Obama? I don't know what she is or who she is. I don't know about those. I mean, everything is just so, who the hell knows who Hillary Clinton is, quite frankly? Who the hell knows who Hillary Clinton is? Because I don't. let alone John Brennan, former CIA director. You got to hear this guy's Arabic. A white bomber. That's what he is. A white bomber. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, right? So I wanted to get the map. He said he's the first Kenya, right? I'm leaning toward, I don't know Buccaneers, but I'm leaning toward Indonesia. I don't know for it. But I got the vectors, right? Here's what I mean, I've been thinking about this all weekend. Tomorrow, I'm going to get the big whiteboard and I'm going to plot the vectors on the board. And it's crazy because I got the stealthy vectors. I got 4 stealthy vectors. So we got the three vectors before we get to the Western Hemisphere. We got the 3 vectors that we believe colluded to make this Wuhan virus a human biological weapon. I'm not even looking at what happened in Wuhan. I'm not even looking at it. We're going to get 45 different stories. China's fixing it, fixing the timeline. It came out today, German intelligence. President Xi's talking with the WHO on how to cover up the virus, how to slow down the information and not let the information out at the proper time. German intelligence. They also banned Hezbollah. Thank you, Speedo. Thank you for the invite. They also banned Hezbollah this month. According to the open source, they banned Hezbollah. And we believe Hezbollah is involved in this transmission. The BBC is claiming that Marwan Air, the U.S. Treasury, absolutely, Buccaneers, the U.S. Treasury designated foreign terrorist entity under the Trump administration, Marwan Air, as a foreign terrorist entity for the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, Quds Force, and the Khomeini, and they own it, or they own at least a nice piece of it. The Khomeini owns it, the IRGC owns it. They own that airline. And Iran, in January 31st, the Iranian parliament called for a quarantine of China, as China called for a quarantine of Wuhan. Yet Marwan Air was flying into China 55 times, right? And we also know China quarantined Wuhan. China was working in cahoots with, now it came out, China's working in cahoots with WHO to cover up the information coming out. Five whistleblowers are missing in China. It's crazy stuff, right? It's crazy. And then we got Moscow. Russia at the very least. And what's China's motive? China's motive is to reduce the American economy. Absolutely speed up 55 flights in February, according to Pompeo. Pompeo. Absolutely, absolutely. So we got 55 flights going into Wuhan in February, into China in February from the Iran's Marwan Air, while the parliament called for a quarantine in China. It's crazy, right? And in addition, Pompeo and the 4-star General Keane on Fox News claims that all intel is pointing toward a Wuhan lab, the origination of this thing. So whether it was a man-made thing, not man-made, whether it was genetically modified, whatever the hell this thing was, at this point, we're never going to get the straight dope on this. We'll never get the straight scoop. So what we're saying is the cover-up is where the crimes were committed. The cover-up is where the crimes were committed. And certainly China is not acting like the innocent party here, right? China's acting like they're covering it up. And that's what they basically have done. From the 5 missing whistleblowers to the quarantine of Wuhan and allowing the Wuhan residents not to fly into other parts of China, but to fly outside the country so they could spread the virus, according to 4-star General Keen, he's highly confident that China allowed the Wuhan residents to leave the country to other countries so they could spread the virus. Right, Speedo? So reduce economies like theirs and then get this thing into America. So America gets reduced. The death has been horrific over here. Here comes the lefties. The death over here has been horrific, and it has shut down the economy. That's to slow down Trump. They used the virus. They dragged their feet. Did China? They did a snail's pace walk. They did a slow walk with this thing. Whatever way you want to talk, the disinformation, misinformation, and apparently in the open source, China, Iran, and Russia were on the same page. They were on the same page with their language to the media. Misinformation, disinformation. They blamed us. And all of the actions of China wasn't certainly acting like an innocent party here. China was acting like they were covering something up. Whatever you want to say, whether it was an accident, whether it was man-made, it wasn't man-made, I don't care at this point. At this point, by their criminal cover-up of this virus, they turned this virus into a human biological weapon. And that's our premise. That's our premise on this thing. Now we're going to look at the vectors, right? And the vectors, I've seen that, Buccaneers. I've heard it. It's crazy. It's really sick. Oh, really, Fish? You're getting a Trump signed pick? You getting a Trump signed pick? Fish, you're getting a Trump signed pick? That's what I'm talking about. So let me get the map. I want to go through this map. 60 minutes, gentlemen. What's 60 minutes? 60 minutes. About what? I didn't see it. Give me the AC. Give me the joust on it.
Sorry, I couldn't quite hear you.
What does 60 Minutes show? Yeah, you must have watched CNN. You must have watched CNN in 2016. You must have been crying like a snowflake in 16, boy. CNN had Hillary Clinton with an 80+% chance of winning. CNN, New York Times, all these great prognosticators. Too much to write. Oh, please. Hey, listen, it's good. He unfortunately he brings nothing to the dance. That's unfortunate. Tara Reid, that's what they talked about, Coach Jackson. AC brings nothing to the dance. He just sits there going, Trump's a billionaire. Trump, all this like stuff that doesn't mean anything. His stuff doesn't even forget about intersecting at any point on the plane. It doesn't even have a tangential connection to any transaction or any event that we're talking about. His information doesn't even have a tangential touch to anything that we talk about, whether the events or transactions that we talk about that's going on in the open in the domain. Nothing. That's a lot of these lefties. Did you see 60 Minutes? All of a sudden, right? All of a sudden, the mainstream media is going to be honest now. They're going to get honest with us. 60 Minutes. I mean, Mike Wallace isn't there. Last time I checked. Forget Chris Wallace. He's got issues, right? His father was amazing. Mike Wallace ain't there, right? So it's a little different. Mike Wallace ain't there. I'm dying to get this map. I want to show you the vectors. You can't you can't make the here we go. Here he goes now. AC. I mean, you can't make what up? What up? What up, bro? What up? Everything was fixed. You loved it, right? In 16, it was all fixed. Well, he's self quarantined, right? Golden, he's self quarantined. He's self quarantined. So we gotta keep the social distance, wear the mask, but let's start to open things up. We do it systemically, New York is ridiculous. He's talking about June 7th now. And he may even go further. These Democrats got to go. These are not John F. Kennedy Democrats. We're not looking at Reagan Democrats, John F. Kennedy Democrats. A lot different. Apparently, Cuomo didn't learn much from his father, because I didn't agree with his father's policies, but he was a very good, tremendous politician. His father, tremendous politician. I didn't agree with his liberal policies. I mean, he was for abortion. It's ridiculous, Golden. They got to go. Stinger, they got to go. It's ridiculous, bro. It really is. And they got a guy like this AC. Did you see 60 Minutes? Let me see. I'm going to go to let me go to this thing, this aggregate thing, and let me see. What is he saying? There's nothing here on 60 Minutes. If there was something very profound on 60 Minutes, it would have been on Drudge. Oh, Golden, you hit it, bro. He is the devil. Oh my God. He sits there talking about his mother, who's a great lady. I mean, my family knows. My father and my mother knew the Cuomos, bro. My father and mother knew the Cuomos. My father, God rest his soul, passed. Yeah, got into a bad car accident in 08. My father was the best. And my mom's was very close to Matilda. Beautiful woman. I didn't agree with his father's policy. I didn't agree with Mario's policies, but he was a very good politician. He almost won 4 terms in a row in New York. He was a very good politician. I mean, at least he had a brain, where he made sense to stuff. I mean, too lefty for me, but at least, God bless you, Speed Up. At least, you can reason and rationalize with him. His son didn't learn anything from his father, let alone the youngest son. Oh, he's a loony altogether. 2 loon jobs, 2 Fredos, and then we got de Blasio. Oh my goodness, and a Sandinista. De Blasio's like he wants to be Castro. Fidel is his man. Fidel goes, he gets 400 to 800 a month. He passed away. He's got 20 million in his bank account. He got 6 to 12 vacation homes. It's a joke. These people are frauds. Like Bernie Sanders, one big fraud. And Governor Mussolini. It's true. You're right, Justin. I agree with that. True. But there's no 60 Minutes. If 60 Minutes was profound, Drudge would have this all over the place. So my first look at this thing, I don't know how profound 60 Minutes was, AC. But you're out to lunch, son. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up, And they come into the room and they're doing this and they're doing that. You can't make this stuff up. So I really want to get the map, but it'll be cool because I'll show you the vectors from Wuhan. Wuhan is like East China. It's not very far from Shanghai. So I was looking at the ground, but he can't explain a few words. About what? It was profound. About what? What was the topic? Because it's not on Drudge. I agree with you. That's a good point, Judge. I agree. I did already. I did it here. Oh, okay. So what AC is saying, what up, Nate? So what AC is saying, that 60 Minutes is talking about from a political sense, the Trump campaign and the pandemic. Okay. That's a little, what are you saying, AC? Tell me. It doesn't look, you said it doesn't look good for Trump in the pandemic. I don't know what you're talking about. Because I believe I believe what's gonna be important is when it comes time for the election, which I believe it's gonna be in that way, where the country is trending at the time. That's what I believe. Where the country is trending at the time. So I feel like getting a map, man. Screw no. It'll take me. I won't be long. It'll be good. And this way, I'll show you some geopolitical analysis because I got the vectors. I got the stealthy vectors. Malaysia, Sahid Iran, Khartoum, Sudan, and Caracas, Venezuela. Woo! Caracas, Venezuela. Unbelievable, man. We are right now, and watch the way Trump is going. Watch the way our president is going. He's got the Joint Chiefs guy, Melly, Pompeo, right? I don't believe 60 Minutes because I looked at the open source, right? I didn't drill down on this totally, but does it matter? AC, it doesn't matter, right? You're right, speed up. AC, does it matter? First of all, according to the open source, 60 Minutes, I don't believe 60 Minutes because Pompeo and General Keane is behind the intel. The U.S. intel is claiming that this virus came out of Wuhan lab. Whether it was man-made or not, it came out of Wuhan, right? According to the open source, now we're talking about this thing with Obama and the reduction of the Obama, according to the open source, right? I don't know all the particulars on this one. But what I found on the open source was that the so-called reduction of because the funding of this thing that's supposed to be inside the Wuhan lab, well, the cuts didn't come till according to what I read on the open source, I know how true it is. The cuts didn't come to the cuts are in the 2020 budget. The 2020 budget hasn't been approved yet. So they don't even know what the funding is. What the funding is. Hey, listen, S-head, don't come in here with cursing. You don't have to like Trump. You're warned. Next one, you're out. I like Pompeo. I just want to get Trump reelected, 49. You know? I don't know what that is. What's Hay? I don't know what that means. What's Hayes pay for medical staff? I don't know what that means, Forster. But the point is, according to what I saw in the open source, I know how true it is. The 2020 budget hasn't been approved yet. So we don't really know what the funding is. But yet, Trump, according to AC, Trump was in the Wuhan lab concocting the virus, according to AC. So in other words, in 60 Minutes had President Trump's fingerprints and footprints inside the Wuhan lab, he would believe it. 49, absolutely. That's what my focus is on, getting Trump reelected and taking the House back. And then we'll worry about 24. So AC, based on AC's analysis, if 60 Minutes said they got fingerprints and footprints of Trump in the Wuhan lab concocting and manufacturing and hazardous pay, okay, and manipulating this biological, turning it into a bioweapon, he would believe it. He would believe it, right? After all, Obama was such a great president, right? After all, Hillary Rodham Clinton was a great Secretary of State. Where do you want me to start with the vectors, AC? Where do you want me to start? You want me to go to Libya? Or you want me to go to Iran? You want me to go to Egypt? Or let's go to Obamacare. That's a joke. You want to go to China? We'll go to Bill Clinton in China? Or North Korea? Come on, man. It's on the internet. It must be true. If it's on the now I know you're joking, AC. If it's on the internet, it must be true. That's the way you believe. I believe that, AC. I believe that. If it's on the internet, it must be true. So in other words, what has Trump done, though? Okay. Let's see what Trump has done. Now, understand, Forster, this virus shows unequivocally that President Trump was right from the very beginning, from the day before when he took over when he went down the escalator in 15, when the Frankie Russo show on 77 WABC, endorsed President Trump for president, right? President Trump was talking about China, America first policies, get China out of the supply chain long before he even decided to run the unfair trade practices between China. So President Trump has been pushing this narrative before he even went down the escalator. Okay, Forster? Trump gets elected. He wants to put a travel ban in place for all the terrorist nations. Blocked. He wants to build a wall. He's got 170 miles on it. They slowed down. Not only the Democrats were against him, Paul Ryan, as Speaker of the House, at the end of 17, a impeachment inquiry made it to the House floor with a Republican speaker. There isn't any much more to say, okay? And now we have a virus. So what did Trump do? He said, you know something? I'm getting blocked here. They blocked him on the mandate, on Obamacare. Did Paul Ryan? He lied about the numbers. He didn't have them. He got that done with the Senate. Trump is nonstop. Nonstop. He don't stop. Trump is the best, right? Now check it out. Check it out. Terrible, 49, terrible. And I like Paul Ryan, by the way. I voted for him in 2012. Him and that other cooch. That Mitt Romney. Oh my God, right? So check it out. Right? Trump says, you know something? Trump restricted travel, but he said, you know something? They're blocking me there. They're blocking me here. I got rid of the mandate. He goes, you know something? I'm going to put all my energies into this economy. All my energies I'm going to put into this economy. Because if something happens, we're not going to be in that. We're not going to be in that bad of a shape. We're going to be in bad shape. You know, if something happens really bad, we're going to be, obviously, the debt has been Absolutely, Henry, and he's working on that because he's hitting China where they live. He's got 250 billion coming back from China on paper. Whether that happens, that's a different story because they're very bad, right? President Xi has a straight, has a smile on his face, being a gentleman, and then the Chinese Communist Party has a different story going on, right? That's foreign. Welcome to foreign policy, folks, right? That's foreign policy, right? But think about it. Trump's going, I'm blocked here. I'm getting blocked here. I can't build the wall, but I got 170 miles going. So what does Trump do? Build up the economy so big that if we have a drop, which we have, he has a chance to bring it back to some extent. So not to say that, I mean, it's been horrific with the debt, but the economy, with the grace of God, he has the governors, the Democratic governors are the worst. The mayors, most of them are Democrat, they're the worst. The worst politicians on the planet. So Trump has unleashed the United States economy to the point where we're drilling anything and everything. Obama had his hand tied there. Obama's regulations, he had took away Obama's regulation, gone, right? Bringing back manufacturing base into this country, top notch, right? Bringing jobs back into this country, the most employment in the history of the world was Donald Trump's economy. Give him credit. And then what he did with the energy sector, energy diplomacy. He was influencing countries with America's ability to produce and export crude, and then the LNG, liquefied natural gas plants. Trump is the best. So they attacked the best. It wasn't Obama's economy. But you're wrong, AC. You're wrong. Do you see what I mean? This is what I mean. It wasn't Obama's economy. It wasn't. He had regulations on the small businesses, and very hard to conduct business under the Obama climate, like he did in Afghanistan with the U.S. men and women, United States Armed Forces. The rules of engagement tied their hands there because he was a stealth jihad radical Islamist. Was Obama. Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton they were stealth jihad radical Islamists. Trump unleashed the energy sector. You weren't drilling with Obama. You had the regulations with Obama. The manufacturing, there wasn't even a consideration of coming back. According to Obama, you needed a magic wand. And what Trump did with the energy sector turned energy into energy diplomacy, where he was squeezing. He had Russia in a box, Iran in a box. He was heavily sanctioning Iran, got out of the fake Iranian nuke deal, and he's pushing influence because he's worried about Venezuela. And I'll show you why. Absolutely. Energy independence. That's it, brother. And that's why Trump is the best. The best. And if you look at the vectors, you see why Trump and Pompeo are jumping up and down on Venezuela. Because it looks like to me, it's funny. I did a little drill down over the weekend. I guess I'll do the map tomorrow. He does, right, Fish? Cuomo's got his signature on it. You're right. Hey, see, AC, you know what you're talking about. You got to be a kid. Because, right, the vectors from Wuhan, now I'm not going to block them. From Wuhan to, I'm not going to block them because, yeah, I mean, I don't care, From Wuhan, as long as you're not cursing, I don't care. From Wuhan to, because you don't have to like Trump, you could be in the room, but if you want to have a debate and discuss, at least make sense. It doesn't make any sense. So from Wuhan to Tehran, you can't take a train, but I think it's going to take a long time because Wuhan, China's huge, and Wuhan is Let me get the map. What time is it? It's 10:30. Let me get the map. Let's do this. I'm gonna get the map. I'll bang it out. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Now, just so you understand, right? Here's Wuhan. The vector, the position vector on the ground, because we analyzed the ground. A train from Wuhan to Tehran. If I'm not mistaken, it's there is one that exists. Takes a long time to get there. So we're going to look at it like this. We got a mass. We got a human being, a human bioweapon with COVID. We got a human bioweapon with COVID on this in a box. So we wanted to call it a mass. What COVID is a footprint, radical Islam is a footprint, and drugs, dirty money is a footprint. So it goes from Wuhan. We can take a train through Pakistan, Afghanistan, and go into Tehran. That's one way of getting into Tehran, the capital of Iran. However, we know about Marwan Air. Pompeo, 55 times, he claims, inside of China. So we go from Marwan Air, which is a United States Treasury designated foreign terrorist entity by the Trump administration, from Tehran into China, 55 times. Then they left and went to at least five countries, infecting other countries. According to BBC, Marwan Air was sent as Iran Parliament quarantined Iran. The Khomeini, he's worth about 200 billion, sent Marwan Air into China 55 times to spread the virus. Now, so the mass goes from Wuhan to Tehran. Now, from Tehran, how do we get into Moscow? Right? Well, we can go down to Sahitan and let Yassin al-Suri, the Al Qaeda facilitator, financier, to take the mass and take the train directly into Moscow through Baku and the Caspian Sea. Or he can go into Turkey, Ankara, see Erdogan, go to Istanbul, meet some Muslim Brotherhood operatives, and go into Moscow. Now, we're in Moscow now. Or we got Marwan Air, right? So either way, the ground, the train, or from Sahitan, or we could say he stays in Tehran and he takes he could catch the train from Tehran as well. But we're going to say they're in Tehran. So 600,000 Iranian Sunnis live in Sahitan. In addition, according to Tom Jocelyn, at least 4 training camps are in Afghanistan. And in Sahitan, there's a headquarters, Afghan Taliban headquarters inside of Iran, as well as an Hamas office and a Al Qaeda foreign fighters are as well in Sahitan. That's where 600,000 Iranian Sunnis live. Now, we go into Moscow, let's say Marwan Air then, or the train or the air, right? We're looking at the ground. Now the mass is in Moscow. Look, Belarus, Poland, Germany. Germany's banned. Germany has banned Hezbollah. So let's say they're taking the train from Germany through Poland, through Belarus, and go into Moscow. Hezbollah. They meet Marwan Air. According to, I got to look it up. I got to get more data on it. But apparently there are air flights going from Moscow on Marwan Air into Caracas, because they want to get into Venezuela. So now watch, right? So we're here, right? We're in Moscow. We're in Germany. We can go from Moscow. The vectors, I mean, this is like there's a train from Moscow into Germany. We're in Germany, right? Germany threw out Hezbollah. Germany has banned Hezbollah. Germany has intel that China, President Xi, has worked with WHO, World Health Organization, to cover up the virus. That's in the open source today. In addition, not only did Germany throw out Hezbollah, they've also closed down the Hamburg terror cell, which was one of the trigger points for the 9/11 hit, and also the 1993 the horrific hit on the World Trade Center, and the 1993 horrific hit on the World Trade Center. Abu Alima, Muhammad Atta, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was in Germany. They closed the mosque down in 2004. They found out where the terrorists were coming from. They shut the mosque down in 2004. Germany's no joke, right? So Germany from Moscow. So is Hezbollah officials, IRGC officials from Germany going into Moscow to meet Yassin al-Suri and to take a plane, Marwan Air, because we got this water mass over here, Atlantic Ocean, to get in Caracas. Now, what is the significance of Caracas, Venezuela? I'm going to show you in a second. So now, just to give you an idea, here's Iran, right? Here's Iran. Here's Saudi. Here's Iraq, Syria, Lebanon. The land bridge. Tehran to Baghdad, Baghdad to Damascus, Damascus 2-hour ride right into the 100,000 rockets underground in Hezbollah has more than any NATO country has above ground. This is the land bridge that Soleimani was in control of, right? So we believe, this is what we believe. We got, what Iran does is, Iran controls all of the Shiite, densely Shiite populated countries, like Iraq, like Damascus, like Lebanon, like Yemen. They take over the capitals, and that's how they control the country. Baghdad, Damascus is the Iranian command center. Beirut is where Hezbollah houses those. Well, Beirut is the capital. They control Beirut. They whacked Rafiq Harari in the early 2000s. Did Hezbollah? They whacked Ali Abdul Salah in Yemen, the former prime minister, before Hadi took it over. And the Houthi rebels were funded by Iran. Ask Nikki Haley. She had the missiles made in Iran. They were shooting at Riyadh, and they drove the Hadi regime, the duly elected Sunni government, to Aden. So Iran, this is how Iran moves in this region, right? They know their terrain, right? So this is what we're saying now. Watch. Who's in Syria? First of all, Syria had what? Millions of people had to flee Syria, right? Assad had a coup. Obama sat on his hands. Obama did a circle jerk. And Assad and General Soleimani, 3 to 15 billion annually to prop up Assad. So, and then he went to Putin to prevent Assad from collapsing. Did Soleimani, to get around all of the sanctions, the UN sanctions, he went around. He brought in Putin into Syria, 2 to 4 Russian air bases above Damascus. In an 8-mile radius, Iran's got 8 to 10 military bases inside of Syria, and we have above Raqqa 8 to 10, right? And we have an air base in Israel. But the point is, Syria, 400 million people left. It's a coup d'etat with Assad and the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. When Soleimani was there before he got whacked, the whole thing. Now, so we're saying, who's in Syria? China's building military bases underground. China's allowing North Korea to send missile and rocket components over Chinese airspace into Tehran. And Marwan Air is sending once they assemble the missile and rockets, they send them to the borders of Israel, Syria, right? So who's in Syria? Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea. 4,000, right? Syria is not even Syria. You could argue Syria is a Iranian colony. They control the capital, Damascus. Now let's look at Caracas. Let's look at Venezuela. How many people fled Maduro? 4 million. It's 4 million people left Venezuela, at least. People are starving over there, like Syria. Who's in Syria? Iran, Russia, right? China, and probably North Korea. Right? I don't know for a fact, but I know Hugo Chavez, and then we got Margarita Island, which is the stealthy vector. That's the hub that houses the radical Islamists, the Sunni Shiite nexus. That's where Hezbollah is and Hamas, in the island right off Caracas. So Maduro, right? Maduro has that guy Tariq el-Assami. So from Moscow, they're flying in Mile Air under the guise of Iran's fixing the gasoline issue that Venezuela has. By doing that, Venezuela is giving Iran, last time we checked, 9 tons of gold bars. They're taking the oil from Venezuela, as is China worked out a deal with Venezuela. So did Russia work out a deal. So Maduro, and what comes out of it too, Maduro and his corrupt regime are running drugs out of Venezuela. Caracas and Margarita Island is where the Hezbollah, the Shiite terrorism arm of Iran, and they're known for not only they're known for blowing up buildings, they're explosives, but they're also known for their drug trafficking. And Hamas, the Sunni, the Muslim Brotherhood, Palestinian branch of Muslim Brotherhood, is working in cahoots with Hezbollah off this Margarita Island with the Maduro regime and other terrorists and/or drug traffickers, which are, because the radical Islamists smuggle drugs too. So, it's one and a half dozen of another, right? But the point is now they're in Caracas. And we're saying that Venezuela is the new Syria. But the problem with that is now this new Syria, just look who the players are in Syria. Look what's going on. The people fled. They've taken over the resources. And the tyrannical leaders now, the criminal leaders like Omar al-Bashir, like Hugo Chavez, like Maduro, like Assad, like Hassan Rouhani from Iran, Putin, like China's not nice, like President Xi. They don't care where they get their oil from. They bought oil fields in Sudan from al-Bashir. $9 billion in UK banks, al-Bashir. He got cooled recently. They bought the oil fields. They bought oil fields in Iraq. China doesn't care where they get their oil from. They bought oil from Venezuela. Venezuela was killing their people. They bought oil from Venezuela. And then from there, we know, from Caracas. Now, here's the thing about Maduro now. Apparently, Maduro has a Obama issue. They don't know where he was born. There's the same stuff like Obama, Maduro. They're saying Maduro was born in Colombia, in Bogota, Colombia. His mother is Colombian. I mean, it is beyond belief what goes on. He was a vice president under, I don't know all of the data, but he was vice president under Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez passed away and Maduro took over. Maduro is brought in all of these, not that Hugo Chavez was any better in that regard, but think about this. He's got the same issue with the Venezuelan people. They don't think he's Venezuelan. It's like a lot of my Egyptian friends didn't believe that Mohammed Morsi was Egyptian. Like I don't believe Obama was born in Hawaii. I don't know where the hell Obama's from. But wouldn't it be something if it would be crazy if our rogue intelligence agencies, the rogue wing of the CIA and the rogue wing of the FBI, were actually involved in in these transactions. It'd be off the hook, right? So we go from Caracas, from Margarita Island, Caracas, the vectors go into Bogota, through Colombia, over the Panama Canal, into Costa Rica, into El Salvador, Mexico, Guadalajara, Monterrey, right through into United States. And at the very least, they get into Canada. Canada, Justin Trudeau and the people over there and the government officials in Canada, I think, if my estimates are correct, have admitted one of the largest amount, the most, or one of the most anyway, Iranian refugees, at least in the Western Hemisphere. At least I could say, at least in the Western Hemisphere, Canada has admitted the most Iranian refugees, the most seeking asylum in the Western Hemisphere, probably in the world, close to the world, but I know at least in the Western Hemisphere, right? So that mass with the COVID footprint, that human bioweapon, that mass with the radical Islam and the drugs trafficking, the dirty money, goes from Moscow. Marwan Air flies into Caracas and meets Hezbollah, Hamas. Iran is there. Russia is there. Iran is there. Russia is there. China is there. And probably North Korea. I don't have a total, but I know those three are there. And that's the same thing that's going on in Syria. So we're looking at Venezuela in the Western Hemisphere as the new Syria. It's a colony of Iran, Russia, and China. Maduro, they don't even know when Maduro was born. They said they had these courts, and it came out that he was born in some city in Venezuela, in Caracas. It is so bizarre. His mother, they said in his early life, he spent a lot of time in Colombia. His mother's Colombian. Was he born in Colombia? It's like Bama. Bama's in Kenya. Is he in Indonesia? Is he? Who knows who these people are? So this is crazy. So from here, it's crazy, bro. So from here, now I'm going to go to, they are already here. You're right. They're already here. But listen to me. Why do I do this? Look at the trend today. Why does Russo do this? Look at the trend today. People say, Russo, when I was doing this at ABC, I had a pre-show and I was presenting these vectors in the pre-show, but not as profound as I am today. But I was doing it. And people say, why are you doing this? You're nuts. That's the past. I'm ahead of the curve. I called Trump. I called Michigan. I called Wisconsin. I called Pennsylvania. I called Ohio. I had Trump winning in Minnesota. I had Trump winning in Colorado. Minnesota was Evan McMillan. He would have won Minnesota. And Colorado was a big Fugazi election. Very bad over there. Right? I called Soleimani out at ABC. This is at ABC, the Iranian Global Terror Network. I had Soleimani. Trump whacked him. I had ISIS. ISIS was the Iranian Global Terror Network. I called that out. Well, we'll see, AC. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see, AC. We'll see. You're underestimating the political prowess of Donald John Trump. He has right now a howitzer in his pocket. Ground game he didn't have in 16. When he was doing the rallies, the data, I don't believe he was doing data with the rallies that he's doing right now. I don't think he did it in 16. They're going to cheat like beyond belief, AC. They got to. They got to. Because top of the ticket wins. That's one political axiom you can't get around. Yes, traditional politics today don't hold up because of social media. Trump's raising 200 million every quarter. Trump's locked and loaded. You ever see his commercials? They're unbelievable. Trump is ready to go. As long as he gets this country trending right, Trump is going to be quite. And then you saw his virtual town hall. He was amazing that he did with Fox News with Brett Baer and Martha McCullum. Trump was ridiculous. His tone was amazing. Trump is locked and loaded. Locked and loaded. So let me go to these vectors. Because I called, right? I called ABC, I called Trump and those states. I called them. In addition, trending, TREN. No. You're misinterpreting it. Trump wasn't on the ballot in 18, bro. AC. Trump's a rock star. See, the problem is you got to understand politics a little bit. When Trump's name's on the ballot, he starts with 45 to 50%. That's a lock. That's a pigeonhole. He pigeonholes 45 to 50. No. AC, Trump wasn't on 18. And 44 Republican House, because Paul Ryan submarined the Trump administration. He resigned, and 44 Republican House members resigned. So, and if you look at all the close elections, the Democrats won those. So that concerns me. They steal. They use illegal immigration. Now a new gimmick is mail-in ballots. That's the new gimmick. No, wrong. Look at the Senate. Trump went on campaigns, AC. He expanded the Senate. The margin, it was 53-47. Trump did that. The close elections, the Democrats beat the Republicans because they're stealing the elections. The Democrats. With the illegal aliens, with more people living, less people voting, and more people, they had more people living. In other words, the vote total was more than okay, I got it right now. The vote total was more than the people living in the districts, in the counties. And I'll go to Michigan, Detroit. Unbelievable. The amount of people that voted compared to the actual number of residents recorded. Now you got mail-in ballots they're looking to push. I mean, that's the game. The mail-in ballots is the new game now. And then what they do with the number, what the mainstream media does with the Trump numbers, they reduce Trump's numbers, and they have these fake polls. Basically, the methodologies are off. The random samples, the way they're gathering the random samples, they're skewed to be unfavorable, to be less favorable to Trump, because they're fixed like they did in 16. They're doing the same stuff, but they're going to try now. Mail-in ballots is a new thing now. Try to fix the election that way. Because you watch 18, you're probably right. You got, and the old stuff, people that passed away, they're voting. Same stuff, right? And you got people voting, like one person voting in 5 different counties. That's happened numerous times. It adds up. It's a big state, big country, right? So, Trump's got the machine. Trump's locked and loaded. He's got big time. It's well funded. 200 million every quarter. Trump's ready to go. Trump is ready to go. So this is what we're dealing with, right? So now let's get back to the thing. So I want to see what I blogged, because I went over some of them today. What time is it? It's 11 o'clock. Okay, good. It's a little early. I can go for another half hour or so. I want to blog Facebook, and I want to blog Twitter. Well, for some reason, Twitter didn't work. I don't know why. All right, I'll do it later because it worked before. Okay, so I just want to go over some things I. Okay, so we know President Trump called out John Kerry to be prosecuted for while Trump is trying to negotiate and put the hammer on Iran, Russia, and China. John Kerry's meeting with Mohammed Zarif and doing his fake. So he's trying to undermine the Trump administration. This is an American citizen trying to undermine the Trump administration. This is disgraceful, right? This is the guy that gave Iran 150 billion back, 1.7 in cash to the Iranian Military Guard Corps. Absolutely, Coach Jackson. It's disgraceful. Mohammed Zarif is a rogue intelligence CIA FBI creation. He was educated in America, as was Mohammed Morsi, as was Mohammed Ahmed Youssef from Sudan. He was part of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He got sent out of the United States to Sudan. But these diplomatic visas is the problem here, right? And we talked about the Kelly Moore article where the Rouhani informant was told by Abid Al-Fiji, the ice cream parlor owner that owns an ice cream parlor on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn, had $21 million in the bank, in his bank account, with $21 million funding Al Qaeda and Hamas training camps all over the world, 13 countries. The federales went in there and said, "What the hell's going on over here?" Abid Al-Fiji, this is in a Kelly Moore article. Abid Al-Fiji, this is in Brooklyn, New York. All of this blind sheikh, the blind sheikh, Omar Abdul Rahman, Muhammad Al-Anudi from Jersey City, Musa Abu Marzouk, the Holy Land Foundation trial. But according to Abid Al-Fiji, the federales was onto their illegal money transferring. So now it's all about that's funny. It's all about the diplomatic visas. They're penetrating, they're infiltrating our infrastructure with diplomatic visas. That's what the Islamists are doing. Muslim Brotherhood is 240, and that's the Holy Land Foundation trial. Diplomatic visas to these Muslim Brotherhood operatives. And, under the Obama administration, they were on steroids. They were making decisions. The sick thing about this whole thing, under the Obama-Clinton crime family, Muslim Brotherhood wasn't only sitting at the table, they were making decisions. Making decisions. Unbelievable stuff. So that's one thing I blogged today. We got Obamagate. The last time I checked, it was up to 100. It was up to 900,000 tweets and almost got 1 million tweets. The Obamagate. Beyond belief. Yeah, okay, AC. You're a clever guy. You're clever. Oh my God, you're so clever. Now it's interesting, right? Now this is Tom Fitton. This is interesting. Let's see. Maybe we'll get his 12-minute. If I can get his 12-minute take.
In 34, 35 states, the idea that you can vote securely by mail is fanciful.
Okay, here we go.
The idea that you can vote securely by mail is fanciful.
This is Tom Fitton.
Change the system as they propose would overturn the voter ID laws in 34, 35 states. The idea that you can vote securely by mail is fanciful. To change the system as they propose would overturn the voter ID laws in 34, 35 states. The idea that...
So that's the problem we got to watch in this election. The mail-in ballots. This is not like, someone with the grace of God for the voter suppression. Okay, sure. Yeah, right. So like someone is like in the military, a man or woman's in the military, and they can't be physically at a ballot, at a poll to vote. Wow, the Cardinals got Josh Rosen. Wow. So you do a mail-in ballot, right? My nose? No. Okay. So Germany bans Hezbollah. raids mosques, right? I'm going to read some of this article. So basically, Germany banned Lebanon's Iran-backed Hezbollah movement for carrying out activities on its soil. Like the European Union, Germany had until now only outlawed Hezbollah's militant wing, but there's no such thing. They're hardliners, period. They call them a Shiite terrorism organization for Iran. And basically, the interior minister banned the group, right? It's in the Al-Irshad Mosque in Berlin. So the dozens of police and special forces stormed mosques and associations linked to Hezbollah in Bremen. Listen to the cities: Berlin, Dortmund, and Munster in the early hours. So Hezbollah has been banned from, now according to U.S. Ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell. Richard Grenell is the interim. Obamagate is about because according to all of the leading people on this Michael Flynn investigation, because basically it was the Comey group, part of the Obama administration, took a Trump dossier, which was proven to be fake, according to McCabe, on the deposition, sworn deposition, claiming that the Comey group took this Trump dossier to the Pfizer judge to get a Pfizer warrant. So the Pfizer warrant's fake. The dossier is fake. It's been proven. The IG, who's not with Trump, Michael Horace, claimed that this dossier is big time fake. They used this fake dossier to get a fake Pfizer warrant under the guise of that they were going to spy on foreign enemy actors. God bless you, MAGA. God bless you. Thank you, my brother. To spy on foreign enemy actors, but in essence, what they were there to do was spy on Americans and unmask the Americans, like Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. And it was bought, right, and part of it was bought and sold by the DNC and the Clinton campaign. Absolutely, Coach Jackson. Horowitz said, is my nose dirty? Horowitz said that the Trump dossier is fake, and the Pfizer warrant was based. So the basis of the Pfizer warrant was the Trump dossier, and that was concurred by McCabe in sworn testimony. That's a fact. So unverified. There you go, Coach. There you go, Coach. There it is. And then we go. According to Taiwanese news, China asked the WHO to cover up the coronavirus breakout. German intelligence service. So this is in the open source right now. And this was covered by this Taiwanese newspaper. And Fox News blog, Terra Airlines, Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps runs the largest airline. Obama gave them $1.7 billion. The Marwan Air, this is why this is so egregious. Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton and John Kerry, they all should be in jail. September 11th, this is my argument. And, Claire Lopez hits it home, right? She's a great CIA operative. She's a She's a radical Islamist. She's an Islam scholar, and so was the great Philip Haney, right? So we got, right? We got Obama claiming they just exactly, and they took everybody down with them. That's the problem, Speedo. It was criminal because if they would have allowed us to come in, we could have blunted this thing, and it maybe wouldn't have spread out of China. We would have helped them. West America and Western Europe. They got some big time. They had a big time infectious disease guy in France. Big time. Western Europe and America would have blunted this thing in China. But the point is now, right? Obama gives 150 billion back to the Khomeini. He's now worth 200 billion, right? Thank you, Obama. Pompeo, see, they're good. The Trump administration is the best. They knew the Khomeini was going to reject it. So they offered the Khomeini 100 million for the coronavirus. He told them to take it and send it where the sun don't shine. It wasn't their money. It wasn't their money, AC. Hello, Rose. How are you? AC, it wasn't their money. Once they took the 50 plus hostages, all bets were off. So the Obama, there's no way they deserve that money. So in other words, you give the money to the devil, they want to use that money to nuke, to develop, to nuclear proliferate. You give the money to the devil? No, you don't. We don't have to give the money to the Hague was involved. The Hague runs America. The UN runs America. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. They gave us 400 million. We were supposed to give them the jet fighters. We never gave them the jet fighters because they took 50 plus hostages in 1979, and we held the money. You want to help them proliferate? Do what Obama did. Obama gave the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, right, 1.7 billion cash. They converted it. They put Iran in our financial system and converted it to, which is against the federal statutes, because Iran's the world's largest state sponsor of terror, and gave them 1.7 billion back. Gave them 1.7 billion in cash. Flew it in the Marwan Air was involved. That's what I'm trying to say. Marwan Air was involved. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. It's disgusting. So you got Marwan Air flying in from Tehran into China, spreading the virus, according to the BBC. You got General Keane and Pompeo claiming the intel says the virus was started in Wuhan. Whether it was man-made or not, I don't know. Whether it was genetically modified, we don't know, speed up. But the point is that the cover-up by the Chinese Communist Party turns that virus into a human bioweapon. And we saw the vectors. I showed you some of the vectors. And then from China to Tehran to Moscow, Marwan Air takes it into the Western Hemisphere, goes over the Atlantic Ocean, because on the ground, it's going to become a very tactical move. Either going to be a submarine. What are you going to do? A boat? I mean, it's ridiculous. They flew Marwan Air, Hezbollah, and the virus, human bioweapon. Whatever. It doesn't matter, AC, whether it was man-made or not. That's the whole point, son. That's the whole point. It doesn't matter. Because the Chinese Communist Party cover-up makes it criminal. So the virus became a weapon, a human bioweapon. So let's say it happened by accident, and somebody in that lab got it. They didn't bring us in to help them blunt it. They allowed it to spread. So now it becomes a human bioweapon. I don't know. Bill Gates, who knows? Mike, I don't know. But I'll tell you this much. This is an attack on America, that's for sure. Here's the one I like. I'm going to print it out for tomorrow. It's in the open source. They got Pelosi on the phone, like talking, and it says the pandemic didn't work. Release the murder hornets. Pelosi saying. I thought that was funny. So, according to the experts, this Pfizer, this Spygate goes all the way. No, wrong. No, the cuts are not to 2020. I'm talking about the cuts in the CDC. Wrong. That's in the 2020 budget. To the 2020 budget, according to the open source. I mean, what's up, Tommy? I don't know for a fact, but I saw the open source, right? In the open source, this is what it says in the open source. I looked at it in the open source, and it says the funding is cut in the 2020 budget. The 2020 budget hasn't been approved yet by Congress, so they don't know what the CDC is getting. So they're saying they're basically saying that Trump cut the funding. Exactly, Coach Jackson. Absolutely, Mike. Mike Wallace ain't there. The 2020 budget hasn't been approved according to the open source. I don't know. That's last time I checked. They said that the 2020 budget wasn't approved, so the CDC's budget is, according to the open source. There you go. According to the open source, it's unclear what the CDC's budget is. So I don't know. So based on what you're saying, Hammer. Based on what you're saying there, Hammer, you might as well. I guess you probably would agree with AC that there's some verifiable data coming out of the 60 Minutes broadcast that they have fingerprints and footprints of Donald John Trump inside of a Wuhan lab, actually genetically modifying the virus, creating the virus. Genetically modifying the virus, saying it was man-made. They're saying Trump did it. That's what AC said. Trump was in the lab. These people are ridiculous. All of a sudden, Obama's a genius. Obama had the thing inside the lab. That was the group inside the lab that was overseeing the Wuhan lab. Right. Obama funded Charlie Lieber. Yeah. The Harvard professor. Right. That was getting paid by the Chinese Communist Party. Thank you very much. Yeah. 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 Thank you, Tommy. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, that's clever. Really clever there, Tommy boy. Obama was a genius for the radical Islamists. You're right. He empowered radical Islam throughout the world. Ask Iran, ask Morsi, go to Libya. Oh my God. He gave Al Qaeda in Libya 10 years removed from September 11, 2001, 20,000 Soviet man-pads and 200 FIM-92s. And they said it wasn't enough. It was so bad that they couldn't provide air support to the Americans in the Benghazi mission. Why? Because they were afraid the radical Islamists were going to shoot down the helicopters with the man-pads they got from, the Obama Clinton crime family. Thank you very much. No problem, Tommy. I hope you're pro-Trump. Doesn't matter, quite frankly, Tommy. You can come into the room. You have to be with Trump. It's okay. Trump's going to win anyway. With all this stuff, Trump's winning. The whole thing is now we want the House Dems out. We want Trump coattails. We want Trump coattails. No problem, Tommy. It's all good. No problem, Hammer. I'm wondering about AC. You think AC's a kid? You think AC's a kid? Don't curse in the room, Tommy. You got warned. No more. No curses. I don't want to get suspended by Twitter. AC is a mess. Absolutely. No problem, Tommy. It's all good. It's all good, my brother. We all get carried away. But this is where we are today. I got a governor. I got a rat I got two rats. I got two Fredos and a Sandinista in New York. I got two of them. Right, Chet? Right, Coach? Oh my God, that chick. I mean, she may be hot and everything, but that's about it. that chick, that Whitmore, she may look good and everything. Hey, I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's a. I don't know. Hey, so you know Cuomo? Is he a Goomba? I don't know. Thank you, Speed Up. It's crazy. In New York, I mean, hey, listen. You got a 1 in 7 chance of getting infected. 14%. That. God bless you, 49. Thank you. You got a 14% chance of getting infected, according to Dr. Barrex. It's a 1 in 7 chance. That means you got an 86% chance of not getting affected. You win. With the grace of God Almighty, November 3rd, 2020, I hope our great president, Donald John Trump, got an 86% chance of winning. Truth be told, right? So that being said, I wear my mask. I don't. MSG? Wow. That's crazy, bro. That the optics on that that blackface thing, that's crazy, bro. I don't roll like that, Russo don't roll like that. That stuff I don't roll with. That to me is, that unfortunately, I love my country, and we've done some great things. That's one part of my country I'm not really, happy about. I have to say, the slavery thing. But with the grace of God, we're the greatest country in the world because we make changes and we get better. So we've gotten better. We actually passed amendments, to make things better for all people. I love my country. I love America, but that's one thing about America. I'm not happy about that in the past. I'm not happy about that. But with that being said, we've overcome a lot of things in this country where other countries are just stagnant. We've passed amendments to make people equal, to make it official, So that's crazy, man. That's crazy. That doesn't look. The optics are not good. Right, right, Fish on YouTube Live. So that's where we're headed. So we're headed with this. I'm going to do the vectors. So we got Venezuela. See, this is why the best. We're the best, Tommy. The best. Unfortunately, it was part of our history, but we got rid of it, right? Oh, he's ridiculous. Mike, he's ridiculous. He didn't learn anything from his father, that's for sure. My father knew him. My mother was very good friends with his mother. Honorable Andrew Cuomo's father was a lean to the left, was a lefty, right? I didn't agree with his policies, but he was a very good politician. Smart politician. I didn't agree with his policies. But he was a smart politician, honorable guy in that regard, right? And his mother my mother loved Matilda. I don't know where these people, like between Andrew and his brother, they make no sense. These people make no sense. They're for late term abortion. I mean, it's a joke. Late term abortion. That means if the baby makes through the abortion, it could be whacked. They can still whack the baby. Late term abortion? Come on, man. I'm a God-fearing Christian man, a man of God, man of Christ, man of the Rosary. Are you kidding me? Late term abortion? And then we did with the COVID. He had the COVID patients going into the nursing homes, the most vulnerable group in the entire population of the elderly people. They're all in the nursing homes. Are you kidding me? Thousands of people are dying in the nursing homes. And he changed it. He said, I changed it. Are you serious? Like, same thing with because you know something? They weren't prepared. That's why. They weren't prepared for the pandemic. De Blasio and Cuomo. They went to Trump. This is how bad they are. Why I call them rats. They go to Trump. They call Trump. You know, I can see it. They call up Trump. Hey, Andrew, because they're on first name basis. President Trump knew Andrew before he became president. Andrew calls him up, says, I need ventilators. He says he needs 40,000 ventilators. Trump put him on hold. I could just see it. He's talking to Fauci, Dr. Barrett, Admiral Garrar, Mike Pence, and Cuomo just called me up. He needs 40,000 ventilators. They're all breaking out laughing. You got to be kidding me. Dr. Barrett said he doesn't need 40,000 ventilators. He does not need 40,000 ventilators. You believe it? Then he'll go in his press conference. He sits there like a crepe hanger, like he graduated from Weill Cornell Medical School, like he doesn't even know what science is, right? He doesn't even know what science is, right? He acts like he graduated from Weill Cornell Medical School, right? Telling everybody that Trump's not delivering on 40,000 ventilators. P.S. He gave his ventilators away to other states. That's how bad he is. Instead of being cool, talking privately, Trump should be his best friend. Instead of being cool, not calling out the president of the United States in the public domain, do everything privately. Say Trump said this, Trump tweeted. I got to talk to the president. I have a very good rapport with the president. I want to show him some respect. He's the president of the United States. He's a rat. The New Jersey governor showed Trump more respect. Murphy's got that state on lockdown. These governors don't make any sense. 86% chance of winning. In other words, not getting infected. I still wear my mask. I still practice social distancing. But we got to start opening things up in steps. Okay. I'm not saying just take the switch and turn it on. Do it in steps. But Cuomo's talking about June 7th, and he's not even sure about June 7th. It's ridiculous. We stay in the house. We're like surrendering to this virus. We wear the mask. It's very bad. I'm telling you, Mike, he's going to drag this out. Come on. The medical doctors, the scientists, like the Faucis, they do this for 30, 40 years. They dedicated their entire life to studying the human body and infectious disease. And they don't know. They have probability distributions. They're learning about the virus. They don't know. Don't make sense to me. We're doing better in upstate and other parts of the city. Just stuff. Construction should be open. Construction should be open. Right? It does. Sunlight does very well against this virus, apparently, right? According to some of the stuff that, it hasn't gone through a full battery of experiments and tests, but based on the initial information, sunlight, the heat does pretty well on this virus. So, you know what I mean? Hey, I'm not saying that, I'm following the guidelines. I'm wearing my mask. I was out today and I walked my dog. I wore my mask and I practice social distancing. But you got to go out, man. You go crazy. I'm going nuts. I got a rope in my basement. I can't go to a gym. Man, if the gym was open, I would go early in the morning. I would stay away and just get my workout in and leave. Take a shower when I come home. I'm done. I can't even go to a gym, let alone I can't go to a library. I like to go to a library. I like to read in the library. I can't do that. I'm reading in my house. I mean, I'm doing some work, but I would love to be out, you know? I want to be out a little bit. Not that I got to be at some club somewhere. No. You know, I want to go to the library. I wanted to go to I'm in my backyard. The weather in New York, April was very bad. May is so-so, right? The weekend was freezing until today. What time is it? 11:30. Let me say 15 more minutes or so. But so I think that what's really interesting to me is Venezuela could be the next Syria, right? They want that guy Juan Guaido, to take over, but I don't know. I think Maduro has got that place on lockdown, and he's got the Islamists in there with Hezbollah, Hamas, Russia's in there, China's in there. Only God knows what they're fleecing between the oil and the gold. Iran, China, and Russia. The oil and the gold. Ma Air flies in there, transporting the human bioweapon to the Islamists, and then they bring it into the. I mean, look at the way the virus. Look at the density of the virus. It's most dense in the biggest cities, the West Coast and East Coast, New York and California. Jersey gets the fallout from New York. That's what Jersey gets. Right, Coach? Venezuela had the most, I don't know what they got today, Coach, the most verified oil reserves on the planet. Our great President Donald John Trump said, America's got it now. Okay. I trust what our president says. But at one point in time, Venezuela had the most, more than Saudi Arabia. Where'd the money go? It's Maduro. Maduro suffers from the same stuff that Obama suffers. They don't know where he was born. The speculation about this guy, he lived in Colombia in the beginning of his life. His mother was from Bogota, Colombia. It's crazy. So they're claiming that he may not even be, thank you, Becky, for the retweets. He may not even be Venezuelan, Maduro. You know? AC, leave the people. AC, who are you arresting now? You know? What's up, young boy? How you doing? So we got Venezuela that could be the next Syria in the Western Hemisphere. That's dangerous because of the land bridge, the bridge to the North America from Venezuela. Dangerous. Very dangerous. That's why Pompeo and Trump and Joint Chiefs is watching. I hear you, young boys. I hear you, brother. Obama, no good. The only thing he did, he was the first black president. After that, I don't know what happened to him. He's just an outright, him and the Obama Clinton and the Clintons too, quite frankly. I hope so, young boys, with the grace of God. Very bad, Monarch. Very bad. You see, critics, you don't get it, right? Did you watch the Vector? Did you see the Vectors? They're smuggling from the. Do you know what's going on the southern border and the northern? Do you understand? We've been attacked. Mike, us too. They're trying. Mike, you don't understand. I hope you're right, 67. He's a stuffed jihad radicalism, and Hillary Clinton should join him. Hillary Clinton, Hillary Rodham Clinton, the both of them. should be in jail. You look at the 8 years on the Obama Clinton crime family, he empowered the radical Islamists. What he did in Libya, Egypt, and Iran. Horrific. The Venezuela is becoming the next Syria. Look at it. Who's involved there? Millions of people are fleeing Venezuela. Same thing in Syria. Unbelievable, young boys, with the young human sex trafficking organs. That's from the, it's crazy. That's from the southern border. Between the drugs, the radical Islamists, the human drug trafficking, and now you got this bioweapon. Conceivably could have coming in from the could have conceivably coming in from the U.S. Mexican border and or 5G, right? Who knows with 5G? Right, but we gotta have a deterrent over there on the U.S. Mexican border, and we got problems on the northern border too. Canada, at least in the Western Hemisphere, houses the most Iranian refugees request asylum in the Western Hemisphere. Iranians. Exactly, young boys. And who knows with this 5G, the effect on the electromagnetic grid. I'm not sure. I believe that. At the very least, California don't want the illegals now. Coach Jackson, that's crazy, right? That Newsom's another whack job. He gave them checks. Well, I don't know about that's, I don't know what's that about, right? Canada. Thank you, Matilda, for the retweets. So Canada, right, has the most Iranian refugees with asylum in the Western Hemisphere. They've taken in. And it came out that the Iranians from Canada are trying to get into America through the northern border. And we've shown there has been some, that's what the problem is with Venezuela, because Venezuela is the next Syria. So the Islamists, China, and Russia, I don't know about North Korea yet, but where China goes, North Korea goes. So from Venezuela, they got access to the U.S. Mexican border and the northern border, North America. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the visit. It's almost 11:45. I'm going to get off in a few minutes. But so tomorrow I got the whiteboard here. I'm going to start to take the vectors. I'm going to start to plot the vectors. Iran, Wuhan, and Moscow. And then I'm going to show you the stealthy vectors. How these stealthy vectors, and we believe the fourth stealthy vector is Venezuela. Venezuela is the next Syria, the way it's looking. That's why Trump is our great president, Donald John Trump, and his Secretary of State, Pompeo, was very concerned. Well, what do you mean, critics? China is not acting like an innocent party here, right? 5 whistleblowers were missing. They quarantined Wuhan, allowed Wuhan to travel throughout the world. According to the BBC, Iran was spreading the virus with Ma-1 air 55 times in China in February. And according to Pompeo and General Keane from Fox News, Secretary of State Pompeo, the intel is strongly suggesting that the virus was started in Wuhan lab. Whether it was man-made or not, that's another discussion. But we're claiming here at the Frankie Russo Show And they would absolutely, Coach Jackson, they wouldn't allow the West, America or Western Europe. Well, we're not gonna get, let's be honest, critics, China's not gonna give us the right scoop over here. They're gonna cover it up. But the fact that they covered it up with Iran and Russia, they took this virus, the cover up, turned the virus into a human bioweapon. And that's what they were doing in Wuhan. They were allowing, as Iran was spreading the virus through the 55 times going into China, the Wuhan residents were able to fly out of China to other countries, but not fly into China because it was quarantined. And recently it came out, open source, I don't know how true it is, but according to Taiwanese news, German intel claims that President Xi and the World Health Organization, WHO, was communicating so in other words, President Xi was telling WHO was communicating to WHO to help them cover it up and suppress the information about the Wuhan virus. That's according to German intel. And the German intel, they put out the Al-Quds Mosque in the 9/11 hijack. The Hamburg Mosque. They've just thrown out Hezbollah from Germany, and they've shut down a Al-Quds Mosque in 2004 with the 9/11. Well, Canada is a problem, right? Justin Trudeau is a loony toony. So basically, we have a, if you want to look at it, we have a mass. Castro's son, all right? We have a mass of, that's what I hear. I don't know how true that is. I'm going to blog it right now. Justin Trudeau. Let's see what comes up. Justin Trudeau. Hey, it's crazy, right? I mean, it's possible today, right? Look, they don't even know where Maduro was born, let alone Obama. Maduro. Absolutely, critics. Castro's son. Let's see. Castro's son. Let's see what comes up. Wow. He certainly looks like him. Oh, my goodness. He looks like a young Fidel. Boy, oh boy, does he look like a young Fidel. Wow. That's crazy. Hey, Wagon Fire, thank you for the retweets. I got to check that out. I'm going to look into this more. So Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son. They don't know where Maduro, look at this. Barack Hussein Obama, the president of the United States, we don't know where this guy was born. I don't believe Hawaii. I'm sorry. And Michelle is not who she says she is, which I really don't care. She's got junk in the trunk. Obama's on the DL. I really don't care. But what else are they lying about is what concerns me. And that means their children are not real, not theirs. Are they Nesbitt Martin and Dr. Blanchard? Are those their kids? A lot of speculation on that. Then you got Maduro claiming that he was born in Colombia. He lived in Colombia in the beginning of his life. I'm going to check this out. Yeah, I'm looking at it now. I have to really look at this. If this is real or not. I don't know. But boy, the pictures don't lie, huh? He's a spitting image of a young Castro. Kenya's trending the same day. Coach, I don't know if it's Kenya or I'm leaning toward Indonesia. I don't know for a fact, but definitely because the deep state, the rogue intelligence agency, because I believe Obama's a mole of the CIA, FBI. The Brennan, Morrell, Panetta wing of the CIA, and the Comey, Moeller wing of the FBI. Well, so I don't believe Hawaii with Obama. I don't know where. I think it's Indonesia, but I don't know for a fact. So you got Maduro. They claim that Maduro was born in Colombia, Bogota, Colombia. He lived there in the beginning of his life before he went to Venezuela. His mother's Colombian. Then you got Mohammed Morsi. I talked to some of my Egyptian brothers, and they tell me they believe Morsi was an American born. He wasn't born in Egypt. and he was educated in America, and he was put there by the rogue intelligence agency, the CIA. He was educated in America. He had an American wife. All his kids were American. He was educated in USC. I'm telling you. But when I had spoken about Morsi's data on his, because I went to his Wikipedia page. So everybody knocks Wikipedia, but there's a lot of footnotes there. You know, there's a lot of sourced material there. So that's a good start. And it was crazy what was coming out. All his children were American. Then I talked about it on the air like a year and a half ago, and the Wikipedia page changed. And he probably has multiple wives, but he's no longer alive. You're probably right, Coach Jackson. I know what you're talking about, critics. I know what you're talking about. Trump's negotiating. I don't know what you're talking about, AC. I have no idea. All I know is, you know, these people are who they say they are. That's all I'm saying. And that's not good. You know, I don't really care what their background is, what color of skin they have. I could care less, quite frankly. Right? He got elected first black president is a major accomplishment, right? Major accomplishment. But after that, I don't know what the hell happened with him. He went off the deep end. In Cairo, talking about exactly, Coach Jackson. No photos of Michelle being pregnant. What up, boy? And there's too much. But I really don't care what these people do behind closed doors, their private life. Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. I could care less. But if they're lying, because they were for 8 years, they were America's first family. So if they're lying to us about who they are, what else are they lying about? Right? That's what concerns me. I don't care what they do in their private life, quite frankly. I really don't care. It's nothing to do with me. What else are they lying? Thank you, Michael. Thank you for the retweets. What else are they lying about? Right? Whatever it was, Monica, I don't know what it is, you know? Obama, I really don't care, because the truth be told, right? What else are they lying about, though? They gave 150 billion back to the Khomeini, 1.7 to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. He must have died. Obama must have died when Trump waxed Soleimani. Oh my God. Obama must have flipped out. Money laundering, right? It's money laundering. What happened with the IOGC was money laundering. It was in United States dollars. They money launder it to the euro notes, so the IRGC can move the money better in their hemisphere. Very bad. Very bad. Very bad. Every time John Kerry sat down to negotiate, the Obama-Clinton crime family was putting $400 million in the Iranian banks. It was bribing. It was disgusting what they did. And now we're looking at, because of the way they handle the foreign policy, we got Russia in Iran building nuclear weapons, according to Netanyahu and the Mossad. So this is crazy. This is crazy, right? But the intelligence agencies, the corrupt wing, I don't know, Monarch. I don't know. I can't, you know, people have this thing with you know, right, boy? I mean, it's crazy. That was another thing, right? I mean, just look at the transactions, Coach, right? You had the Bergdahl trade, 5 Afghan Taliban for a trader, right? Look at the 5 Quds Force leaders, that was Soleimani's group, were in jail. Obama went to Erbil, Iraq, and released them when he took over. Obama sent hundreds of millions of dollars to the Gaza Strip. 88 United States senators, 44 Republican, 44 Democrat. Why are you sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Hamas? They're a terrorist organization under humanitarian aid. How do you know they're not going to use the money for terror? And they said, we don't know that. Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama did it anyway. Look at Egypt. They threw out Mubarak. They couped Mubarak and put Morsi in. Pro-white. Mubarak was pro-Israel, pro-America. Morsi, an American educated diplomat, Muslim Brotherhood operative, the CIA, FBI put him in. Put him in with Obama, the Obama Clinton crime family, because they front for the deep state. Obama is the poster child of the deep state. They love the Clintons, but they love Obama the best because he was the most compromised. Hey, between William Jefferson Clinton's antics and Hillary Rodham Clinton's antics, it's unbelievable, right? They threw out Morsi. They threw out Mubarak, put in Morsi. They promised him 1.5 billion in cash and jet fighters. But thank you, Jesus. Sisi, thank you, Jesus. It's true, AC. It's true. What's funny about it? It's true. Do you know what happened? Mubarak got couped by the intelligence. The Obama Clinton crime family. This is the policies of the Obama Clinton crime family. They threw out Mubarak. They put in Morsi, a American trained diplomat. So from there, right, and then what they did in Libya, because when Morsi got, so what they did in Libya, they whacked Gaddafi. Obama's brother Malik, who's a dual citizen, America and Kenya, was going back and forth because he was best friends with Gaddafi, trying to get his brother not to. You believe this? Not to assassinate Gaddafi. But Obama had to kill Gaddafi because Gaddafi had the goods on Obama. Gaddafi had the goods on Obama. Oh my God. And too many people, too many countries like England, Cameron, Sarkozy from France, NATO was involved because of everybody was going to win. The 143 tons of gold that Gaddafi was hoarding, the 20,000 Soviet man-pits, so they armed up Al-Qaeda. Those Libyan rebels, Mustafa Jalal, Abdel-Hakim Belhaj, and the Al-Qaeda in Libya, was so bad that the Gaddafi general that defected to the Libyan rebels, they whacked him too, because they were afraid he was going to go rat to NATO because he was being bribed by France. So the 20,000 Soviet man-pads and the 400 FIM-92s, people are saying, why didn't Barack Hussein Obama and Hillary Rodham, what up, Coke, and Hillary Rodham Clinton didn't sick air support into the Benghazi mission to help the Americans? You know why? Because they were afraid if they sent in the air support that the Islamists were going to shoot them down with the man-pads. That's how bad they are. That's how bad the Obama Clinton crime family is. That's how bad they are. They were so bad. That's why I get so because even what they did in Afghanistan with the rules of engagement on the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, they're coming home. The amount of people that were killed in Afghanistan under the Obama Clinton crime family is egregious. All these events, all these transactions that the mainstream media knows happened under the Obama Clinton crime family, yet they love Obama. Yet they love Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton could still run again. Hillary Rodham Clinton could still run for president. AC, you're please do me a favor. Boss trying to get rid of you. I don't want to block unless somebody's really cursing. But the Obama Clinton crime family, look what they did in Syria. Look what they did in Syria. General Soleimani, Iran, 3 to 15 billion to prop up Assad. Assad is chemically weaponizing his people. Hey, boy, what are you going to do? He's chemically weaponizing his people. Obama sat on his hands. He set up a Syrian rebel group, sent them hundreds of millions of dollars to form this group. And John McCain at a 7 oversight committee asked Ashton Carter, How do you know that the Syrian rebels, which we funded with hundreds of millions of dollars, with money, weapons, and training, how do you know these Syrian rebels are going to get the job done? If the Assad regime fires at the Syrian rebels, are they going to fire back? I mean, this is crazy. This is America. And the Obama Clinton crime family has the Syrian rebels that they're training. They're fighting ISIS, but they can't fire at Assad because this fake Iranian nuke deal. It's a joke. Joke. And then Benghazi. Yeah, right. Lindsey Graham, I know, right? Coach Jackson, right? Whoa. John McCain passed off. I don't know. I think Graham was involved in that FBI dossier. I don't know, but McCain admitted to it, and McCain passed it off to the FBI. That fake Trump dossier. A lot of ornery characters, boy. And it's crazy because it wasn't just the stealth jihad radicalism, it's the DNC, right? Wagon fire. It's also Republicans, rhinos. So because I look at it like this, I'm clear, I'm upfront about this, right? John McCain, I know what happened to John McCain. I have no idea what happened to that guy. He passed away. God rest his soul, but I don't know what happened to him. He came from a tremendous family, right, Coach Jackson? He came from a tremendous family. His father was an admiral in the Navy. His grandfather was an admiral in the Navy. He was a captain in the Navy. He went to Annapolis. He was a captain in the Navy. He left the Navy, my understanding, with honor and distinction. What happened to him in the Senate, his politics, I have no idea. I voted for him, but he was a horrible candidate. And I voted for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan. They end up being horrible candidates. And I don't know what happened. I went to John McCain. I have no idea what happened to John McCain. I mean, he had a chance to have an interesting. I mean, I'm not saying you're probably right. I don't know, something like that, right? Because I'm not saying he would have beaten Obama because Obama was on the come up, and he had a formidable. There's a lot of corrupt things go on with the Democratic Party anyway, the DNC, because those super delegates they used to give him the nomination, Obama, because Obama didn't get it from the route of the elections to get the delegates. So they gave him the nomination. Oh, he did? Gates? Really? Wow. Matt Gates as a rhino? Wow, wow. First time I'm hearing that, bro. That's true. Yeah. Who is that, Jackson? McCain? I don't know, but because to me, you see the stealth jihad radicalismus. Oh, Gowdy is okay. I mean, Trey Gowdy is a smart guy. I mean, it is plausible, Wagon Fire, that he leans in that direction. I agree. There is some indication. I mean, he wasn't as bad. Paul Ryan to me was the worst because I liked Paul Ryan. I really did. I thought he was like a numbers. He was very detailed orientated. He had the numbers. Thank you, Boar. Thank you. I appreciate that. I thought Paul Ryan was a great. I voted for them, but they showed no cojones. Like when Mitt Romney was debating Obama, and he was questioning him about Benghazi, and Obama turned to Candy Crowley from CNN to bail him out. If that was Trump, he would have ate his lunch. Oh my God, like he did to Hillary. Oh my God, what he did to Obama. I'm right, Wagon Fire. I feel bad about it. And then what Paul Ryan did to Trump the 2 years. What Paul Ryan did to Trump, right, boy. If that was Trump debating Obama, and Obama turns to Candy Crowley and CNN to bail him out of the Benghazi thing, Trump would have ate his lunch, man. Well, thank God he didn't, Coach. How could you put Mitt Romney in that spot, Coach Jackson? Right? He ended up being a rat. He's a rhino. Rhino. Republicans by name only. Right, Wagon Fire? Come on, man. That's bad politics. In the presidential world of U.S. politics, you got to be ruthless. You can't play around. Well, I mean, I think Obama's only accomplishment as president of the United States became the first black president. That's it, which was a great accomplishment. And he did. I have to be honest. The campaign was quite extraordinary. The Obama campaign, even though I think it was shadowed with a lot of corruption, foreign money that he never revealed. A lot of corruption, and you could see what happened in the Obama Clinton crime family. How corrupt the administration really was. Very corrupt, beyond belief. The stuff that went on. Till even after they were leaving, the spying that went on with the intelligence agencies on the Trump administration. Comey and Brennan and Comey, Brennan and Clapper. He does. I agree with that, Coach Jackson. I do agree. He does. Michael Flynn had the goods on Iran with Benghazi. He had the redacted memo that Iran. See, the Obama Clinton crime family, people don't want to say, is covering for Iran when it comes to Benghazi. Iran is behind it. General Soleimani. Kenneth Timmerman has the data. He wrote a book, Dark Forces: Truth About Benghazi. Great book. And he had Soleimani, the Hezbollah, Quds Force, Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, terror cell inside of Benghazi. And the vectors from Ajabaya, which is 9 degrees north, you're in Benghazi. When you're in Benghazi, you take the vectors 45 degrees northeast, you're in Derna. Those are position vectors, right? We turn them into pipelines. Human assets, Al-Qaeda in Libya coming from Derna into Benghazi, right? And then according to Kenneth Timmerman, Ajabaya, logistical and technical support going into Benghazi, right? So what makes this profound is Soleimani. Oh, really? Well, I can't wait, Wagonfly. I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right, my brother. I hope you're right. Because I don't trust, I just can't believe the stuff they get away with. I was watching, but anyway, before I get into World War II and General Patton and Pearl Harbor, so what's crazy is, right? Absolutely, boy. Right. But with Benghazi, you see, Al Qaeda in Libya, according to the Tripoli newspaper, in August, there's a government document, in August of 2012, 1 month before Benghazi, there were 15, because they whacked Gaddafi, the radical Islamists, Al Qaeda in Libya is on steroids. 15 plus Al Qaeda militias inside of Libya in Liberation Square in Benghazi, a month before the hit on the Ambassador Stevens. So I don't know how they thought that Soleimani wasn't going to hit the ambassador. He tried to hit the Saudi ambassador to the United States off the U.S.-Mexican border, according to the U.S. Treasury. They got that guy, Mansour al-Bashir. He's an Iranian American that was bribing his uncle was a senior Quds Force official on the U.S.-Mexican border. He was bribing a Mexican drug cartel with $100,000 to go whack the Saudi ambassador to the United States in D.C. from the U.S.-Mexican border. They arrested the Iranian American Mansour al-Bashir. Mansour al-Bashir and his uncle from the Quds Force gave $100,000 to a Mexican drug cartel member, but it happened to be a mole, a informant for the U.S. for the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agent. He was a DEA. He was a DEA agent, Drug Enforcement Agent. That's how that thing just fell apart on the U.S.-Mexican border. So, okay, whatever you say, KC. You can say what you want. You just hate. Just say you hate. Casey, just say you hate him. I'd have more respect for you, Casey, because you can't argue. The thing about the way your discussions and your debates on the issues, you don't really know. Absolutely, Justin. You don't really know. So I mean, just say I'd have more respect for you, AC, if you just said you hate Trump. I'd have more respect for you. At least you be honest, because your logic don't make sense. You just say AC, you hate Trump, and I'll respect you. But to come in here and spew this nonsense, you're either you're a 12, 13-year-old kid, or you're the other way. You're older and you just don't know what the hell you're talking about. You know? You just say you hate Trump, AC. There you go, boy. Right? You're supposed to Nancy Pelosi, so there it is, right? What a disaster. What a disaster. Don't vote on it. Don't read it, vote on it, and we'll figure it out later. So now what she's doing is she's writing all the legislation because the COVAD's got they control the House because of Paul Ryan and the 44 House Republicans in 18. And they say, well, we beat Trump. Trump was campaigning for the Senate. They stole the close elections. That's why I'm worried about this election. I'm concerned. We can't sleep. We can't sleep on this. We got to get Trump reelected. We want a landslide. That'd be great. Who are we talking about, boy? Because we got to get the House back. Pelosi is a disaster. Schiff is a disaster. Schiff is AC. Well, please. Boy, Schiff is a disaster. I won't even talk to him. He don't make sense. Terrible coach, right? What a disgracia. She's no Tip O'Neill. She's no Newt Gingrich. She's no Newt Gingrich, nor is she Tip O'Neill. Thank God Trump's got Mitch McConnell. At least this guy is a politician. He knows his business. He knows politics. And if he tells you he's got votes, he's got the vote, he's got the vote. Paul Ryan told Trump he had the vote. He didn't have the votes. He's a moron. Unless he was deliberately sabotaging the president, right? Because you got Schiff, Nadler, Swarell, Pelosi, Claiborne, Carson. Now, these people forget about it. These are not good politicians. They're not good people. These are not good people. Hello, Mary Muldoon. Yeah, Schiff is horrible. They just hate Trump. That's it. They hate the president. That's it, right? They just hate Trump. Yeah, me too, Mary Muldoon. Cuomo's got to open his state up. It's really bad what he's doing. Really bad. Him and de Blasio, very bad. Very bad. You're right, Coach Jackson. Michael Flynn, let me tell you, Michael Flynn knew about Iran and Benghazi. I hope you're right, Ron Roxy. And Michael Flynn, in 2013, wow, you went to the protest? Which one, Mary Muldoon? Because in 2013, Michael Flynn was the director of the DIA. And he came out with a seething report about North Korea. Highly confident. Oh, City Hall. Wow. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, Mary Muldoon. They should definitely, I'm not saying flip the switch, but they should start opening up construction. Wear a mask, social distance, and listen. If you want to, maybe if you sign a COVID release, people want to go into a restaurant, you got to sign a COVID release. You got to release the COVID. It's on a COVID release. I don't know how. I'm not a legal scholar. I don't know how that would hold up in court. Oh, it's really shameful, Mary. It really is. Not true. Not true. You don't know that for a fact. You make these statements, AC. How do you know? Come on, man. But when he was the DIA director in 2013, he had North Korea with miniaturized nuclear warheads for its long-term ballistic missile program. And the Obama-Clinton crime family, it's crazy, Mary Molden, right? In 2013, highly confident that North Korea has miniaturized nuclear warheads for its long-term ballistic missile program, to the point where, so confident that they said it's old news. It happened in 2006 because Bill Clinton gave Rocket Man's father $4 billion for energy aid, and they took that money and proliferated. While they have concentration camps in North Korea, they're whacking family members. It's crazy. How do you give North Korea $4 billion for energy? Yeah, nuclear energy. Yeah, that's what I mean. The policies of William Jefferson Clinton, the policies of Barack Hussein Obama, Hillary Rodham Clinton, very bad. They created all these problems. We elect our great president, Donald John Trump, to fix them. He fixes them. But when there's a problem, they blame him, the Democrats. And they created the problems. You're probably right, Coach Jackson. You're probably right. They probably do. You're probably right. It's like the way the Islamists go. When the Islamists get their military strongholds in the region and they control and dominate the region, they're whacking people left and right. They're getting rid of all the people that think are traitors, and they're whacking people left and right for no reason. Very bad. Yeah. See what I'm saying about AC? You see what I'm saying? Here's the difference, right? See, AC, this is what I mean. You come in here and you spread wrong information, right? Obama sent Khomeini 4 love letters. Obama sent Khomeini $150 billion, right? $150 billion. And Obama sent the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, 1.7 in cash, right? Got it from US dollars to euros. Trump takes over, gets out of the fake Iranian nuke deal, which didn't include the Iranian ballistic missile program inside the nuke deal. Iran's long-term ballistic missile program was not included in Iran's nuke deal. President Trump pulls out of that, calls fire and fury at North Korea, and sits down with President Xi to negotiate the deal. Then he meets with North Korea and gets him on paper. I'm not saying he's going to follow it, but on paper, he gets Rocket Man to sign off, work toward an agreement to denuclearize, right? How much money did Trump spend? How much money? AC. Exactly, Coach Jackson. That's the whole point. How much money did Trump spend? Zero. Absolutely. How much money, AC, did Trump spend? Obama spent $150 billion back and 1.7 in cash to the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. He used Marwan Air. That's the Khomeini's airline. Zero, AC. That's why you don't know the facts. Zero money. That's why Trump is the best. Perfect example. That's why Trump is the best. AC. That's why Trump is the best. So it's almost 12:30. I gotta get off the air. I'm on the air almost it's almost 12:30. Wow. That's why Trump is the best, AC. Now you understand why Trump is the best? Well, Trump's trying to do it with Russia. Iran's a problem, critics. I agree with you, Ron. I agree with you, Ron. Roxy, I agree with you. You're right. We're trying. We're trying, Justin. It's true. I mean, Cuomo is horrible. Cuomo is really, really horrible, right? Really bad. So I'm going to get off the air now. It's getting late. I'm on the air since I think you're wrong, Bob. I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think Trump's going to get reelected. I don't know if Biden. You know something, Biden. I don't know if Biden's going to make it. Biden's got some shady stuff he's got to get around. I mean, but the DNC is very corrupt. So I factored that in, critics. The whacking of General Soleimani, and Trump's got the heel on the sanctions on Iran. So that's why I believe they colluded. So we believe that. You don't know if that's true, Bob. You don't know if that's true. God bless. Thank you, Justin. Have a blessed night. Absolutely, Roxy. I agree with you. Roxy Ron, I agree with you. So, you know, I think Trump's getting reelected. That's my opinion. It's going to either be like 16 or a landslide. Let's say with all the corruption and everything's more like 16. With all the corruption, the mail-in ballots now they want. Shout out to Cold Warrior. Absolutely. Shout out to Cold Warrior. Absolutely. But Trump is positioned, Bob, as long as the country is trending by the time we have the election, if this country is trending in the right direction, Trump is going to win. And it might be a landslide. I'm not sure because of all of these variables with this mail-in ballots, the corruption, illegals voting, more people voting in districts and counties than actually live in the districts and counties. And the fraud is growing and growing and growing. People don't want to admit it. Critics, people just don't want to admit it. So, but I think Trump is. It's either going to be a 2016 win, which is handily. It's a hand. 2016 is he wins handily, and/or Reagan-esque. Reagan lost 2 states in 2 elections, 900 plus electoral votes. Different time, different era. You know, the GOP is more like the overall GOP is like the Democrats of yesteryear, and the Democrats are the socialists, the communists. Well, eat good, exercise, keep the weight down. You know, nothing's with the grace of God. A man of God, man of Christ, man of the Rosary. But for the grace of God, go I. You know, and try to live a clean life. You know. Well, I think we'll be ready. We'll be locked and loaded, critics. If it comes back, we'll be locked and loaded. We got to open up. We got to get back. We got to get back. And we got to get our great president reelected. And we got to get the Trump coattails and bring in the House with it. It's terrible, Roxy. If we had Roxy Ron, right, critics? If we had whatever you say, AC, I really don't care. If we had John F. Kennedy Democrats or Ronald Reagan Democrats, we'd be fine. But the Pelosi's, the Harry Reid makes more sense than them. And Harry Reid, I thought, was a horror show. Harry Reid's starting to look good. You know? I thought he was a horror show. But the Pelosi's and the Schiffs and the Nadlers and the Schwarels and the Claibornes, these people are very bad. They're not good politicians. They're not smart politicians. They know Trump wins, comes November 3rd, 2020. He can't stop. He has to keep going. He has to go full throttle and do what he has to do with them. Well, I voted for Bush. I'm not a Bush guy anymore. I liked Bush, but the way he's dealt with President Trump, I don't like W as much as I used to. I voted for W. I don't like him as much as I used to. I think very bad. You're right, Coach Jackson. Right, John Brenner. Oh, I tell you, I just think that our great President Donald John Trump, very bad, very bad over here. The governor is so corrupt. They, boy, I wouldn't go that far, you know, because that would be, I mean, I just think it's crazy. Anybody, I have lefty friends, I think it's nuts. I really do. I agree with you. I wouldn't call them those words, but I think it's nuts. I think to vote Democrat, you got to be crazy today. Big rhinos, right? Wagon, both of them. Bush's big rhinos, big time wagon fire, right? But the Democrats today are a disgrace. I have friends that are lefties, and I'm hoping that this, they just don't like Biden. I say just stay home. They don't vote. That's a vote for Trump because we got to get Trump reelected. It's a disgrace, right? You're right, Ron Roxy. You're right. Think about it. They don't care that the Comey group used the fake Trump dossier, according to McCabe and the IG. I can't wait. I can't wait, boy, to vote for Trump. I wish I could vote. I can't wait. November 3rd. I can't wait. Not that my vote's good. New York. If Trump gets 28 to 30% of the city vote, he could pull off New York. But I don't know. I don't think Joe Biden. I tell you, I don't know. Joe Biden may not hang on to this. Bernie Sanders may get back in the mix, which would be nice because he'll really disrupt. He'll really disrupt the Democratic Party. Then I think it'll be a landslide if Bernie Sanders is in, because the Democrats are not going to acquiesce around Bernie Sanders. No. Even if he puts Elizabeth Warren as the vice president. I don't think so. And, I worry about fraud. I worry about the Democrats trying to, with this virus, use that to get mail-in ballots, illegal aliens voting. You got the more people voting in counties and districts that live in these counties and districts. There's a lot of blatant fraud going on. And now with this mail-in ballots, it's really scary because on a straight-up election, I think Trump rocks. Biden is a horror show. Think about it. Even if it's Michelle's going to lose. Michelle loses. Hillary's going to get rocked. Michelle loses. If Michelle's the VP, she loses. They lose. They're not beating Trump. It'll be like 16, the worst. Worst case scenario, 2016. I just want Trump coattails. I'm hoping for a landslide. So the Trump coattails will be meaningful. But there's so much. Look at the misinformation they got in the open source. They already have a test. Listen to this. Digest this. They have a coronavirus task force already sitting to investigate the Trump administration and how they handled the coronavirus. Well, I don't want to get racial. I really don't care. Race doesn't affect my decision making. I look at the individual, whether it's a man or a woman, and what I think they can do. I don't look at race as an issue. Some people do. I don't. Nor gender. Nor whatever you do in your private life. I really don't care. If it comes out that I was right, that Obama's a whatever, and Hillary Clinton does her strap-on strategy, and Michelle's, has already got it on, so she's got the junk in the trunk. I really don't care, I just find it crazy to think the first family is so not real. It's something else going on. So my question is, what else are you lying about? So maybe those kids aren't theirs. And what do they really? What else? What did they lie about that really meant something to the country? Is what concerns me, right? It's really crazy, right? And what bothers me too, guys like AC doesn't get affected by what the Comey group did by getting the fake Trump dossier, according to McCabe and the IG Horowitz. Very bad, Ron Knox, right? Right, and using the fake Trump dossier to get the fake FISA warrant under the guise to spy on foreign enemy actors, and they're spying on the Americans, and they're unmasking the Americans. So you're taking the corrupt wing of the CIA and the rogue agents in the CIA, the corrupt ones, and the rogue agents in the FBI, and they're using it against Americans. And the lefty voters are not affected by it. They don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's beyond belief. They don't think there's anything wrong with what Comey, Clapper, and Mueller did. And then Trump makes a phone call and they impeach him. Trump makes a phone call, impeach him. I mean, in my life, that's what's scary about this thing. The lefties, some lefties, yeah, he's supposed to be top notch. Grinnell, Roxy, supposed to be top notch. That was Clapper's group, James Clapper. Beyond belief. They wouldn't listen to. Well, you are a lefty. I don't care whether you appreciate it or not. AC, you're a lefty. You come into this room not supporting Trump, you're supporting Pelosi. You're a lefty, son. I don't call you. I don't call you expletives because I wouldn't be able to have a room. I don't use foul language, but you are a lefty, bro. Straight up. I don't care. You don't have to joke. You can say what you want. Just as long as you're not cursing. You don't have to like Trump. It's okay. So I'm going to get out of here. It's late. It's already like 12:30. I've been on the air for over 2.5 hours. I get caught up. We went to the map today. And you're probably right, Roxy. You're probably right. So I'm going to get out of here. See you, AC. Thank you for the visit. Thank you, Roxy. Thank you, Coach Jackson. Thank you, Boar. Thank you, Justin. Thank you for the visit, Mary Muldoon. Thank you for the visit. Thank you, Grits, Marianne. Thank you for the visit from Alabama. God bless you all in the room. Thank you for the visit. God bless the men and women of the United States. Thank you, Roxy, Ron. Have a blessed night. God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. Thank you for your service. Thank you for providing me with the freedom that I love, and that's the broadcast. God bless the Wagon Fire. Thank you. I forgot Wagon Fire. Thank you for the visit. God bless the greatest country on the planet, America. God bless America. And God bless our great president, Donald John Trump. This is Frankie Russo. I'll be on the air tomorrow night. I'm going to try to get on the air early, 9-ish. And till Thursday night, my last night, because I like the weekend. I have the weekend off, So it'll be 5 days in a row. And then Friday, Saturday off. This is Frankie Russo coming at you straight out of Brooklyn. I'll see you tomorrow night, 9-ish, Eastern Standard Time, straight out of Brooklyn. This is Frankie Russo, and I'll see you in the future. YouTube Live, Fish, Cold Warrior, God bless you all in the room. God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces. God bless the greatest country on the planet. And God bless our great president, Donald John Trump. I'll see you tomorrow night, 9-ish Eastern Standard Time. This is Frankie Russo, and I'll see you in the future.